Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. Tonight we're going to take a look at logging part 1. Why part 1? Well, there's a lot of information to cover. There's definitely a lot of logging equipment in the game. And you have kind of two sides of it. You have the logging and forestry, and then you have wood chipping, which is obviously part of that, but it brings its own set of equipment. And I think that we're going to run into like a 5-hour video here if I'm not careful. So we're going to split this into, this portion is going to be dealing with cutting trees down and selling the logs. The other half of the video, or the other part 2, is going to deal with wood chipping and saving up wood chips, making it a little bit easier to store the wood with wood chips. So and then sell it when it's a good price. So here we go. There's a million different ways in the game now, and you could just see here there's just hundreds of pieces of equipment, thousands, literally billions of pieces of equipment dealing with forestry. Okay, like there's like 25 or 30 pieces of equipment that are dedicated to forestry. We're going to start from some of the simple stuff to some of the more advanced stuff. I really try to do my videos without having any mods involved, but in this case there is one mod I'm going to recommend, and especially because consoles don't get the same mods that the regular PC users get. So, but one mod that everybody gets, both on the console and on the PC, is the IT Runner. And so I recommend getting the IT Runner from the Mod Hub on your game. Like, just go into the menu, go to Mods, and then download the IT Runner. And this is a logging trailer. This is probably my most favorite setup. I'm not saying it can't be done other ways. There's, like I said, there's a billion ways to do this. Everybody has their own preference, but I'm going to kind of show you some of the ways to do this that are not ridiculously expensive. So let's start with what I feel like is the cheapest method. Somebody's probably going to overreach what I'm saying and say, oh no, there's an even cheaper method, and you're probably right. But in my opinion, this is the cheapest way to do lumber. All you need is one of your default tractors, doesn't even have to have the arms on it, and a tipper. Let's go grab one. I'm going to go in the store, grab a tipper, and I'll show you what I mean. We'll drive up into the woods and do some chopping. I would recommend trying to get a tipper that is a little more open-topped. Like this guy's good. These have bars that go across the top. It doesn't really affect anything, but these two lower tippers are easy to access, and the Metaltech's pretty easy to access too. This one, I think, out of all of them is probably the simplest. So let's just grab one of these. And so for very little money and what you already have when you start the game, you can actually just get right into lumber. All right, so we'll go over that, but it's a little tedious. So anyway, I'll be right back. All right, so we've arrived in the woods across the street from Sosnovka's. I should probably turn the tractor off. Across from the shop in Sosnovka. And we have our tipper and our tractor. The other thing that you have to buy is a chainsaw. It costs $1,000. You should be able to get one pretty quickly in the game. It doesn't take a long time to save up $1,000. You could just take a loan out. I think it's $2,500 increments. So we're going to chop this tree down. Now, one thing that you're going to notice that makes it a little bit difficult to navigate, you are going to end up with a stump, and we'll deal with that in a minute. But you can leave those stumps for now. When you cut, and you saw there the tree fell over when I was done cutting, you want to make sure that you get a nice straight angle. If you cut the tree like this, or like this, or like this, if you turn your saw and your axe, and you cut like this, so it's like not even, the tree will not fall. You'll have to knock it over. If you want it to fall, you need to cut it nice and flat, straight across, and you can just cut it and it'll fall. So what we have here is our tree. The first thing you're going to do is strip the tree of the branches. Now, I recommend, if you want to cut down the trees like the little puffy trees that are by the shop and stuff like that, you can, but they don't really process very well. You want nice straight wood. The straighter the wood is, the more money you get from the forestry department. So you're going to crouch and you're going to walk along the log and turn your chainsaw on. I'm just going to do this. You see all the wood chips? It's chopping off all the branches. All right, so now we have a nice branch, or a nice tree, a nice straight tree, no branches, and we're going to go ahead and start chopping this into bits. Now, the bigger the tree, the bigger the thickness of the tree, the harder or the shorter the pieces have to be. So if you have a really thick tree, you won't be able to pick up the regular pieces. So I cut a piece and I put the chainsaw away, and now I can just lift this up by hand. And I can put this in the back of the trailer. You can see I cut it pretty well, actually. It's really right to size there. If we jump up into the trailer, you can see the log is sitting in here. Now, if you get up here and mess around too much, the logs are going to flop all over the place. But that's how you do that. So that's the first method. It's super simple. We're going to take a look at saws next. This is going to we're going to go through all of the different types of cutting equipment that we have, and there's a whole bunch of it. So it's going to take a little bit to get through these. But first we have the turbo saw. This is a front-mounted tractor saw. So if you have a tractor with front brackets, or you could run it backwards. I guess you could run it off the tail end of a tractor if it, like the case, doesn't have these 3-point harness on the front. So or not harness, but a 3-point connector, implement connector. So what you do is you're going to turn it on and you're going to lift it up. And the interesting thing about this device, it doesn't raise. You can't raise and lower it. It just slides along the ground. And then you're just going to drive up to a tree. The nice thing about it is it cuts it way down at the ground. So you're really not going to have to deal with a stump grinder if you're doing it this way. Boom, and it just drops it. That's it. Look, very minimal stump left on the ground, which allows you to operate in the area without having to deal with tripping over stumps. So that's that device, and I like this, and it's a pretty good price too. I think it was like 10 or 11,000. Let's take a look here at the forestry equipment. I'm sorry, 5,400. So it's actually pretty cheap. So that's definitely a candidate for cheap logging. And you can cut down a whole bunch of trees. Now, you're still going to have a chainsaw, though, because once the tree is down, you still need to clear it off. So we'll get this tree cleared and ready to go. And we may have to do the underside because we're up high off the ground. Sometimes it doesn't get it. Whoops. All right, so there's that nice long lodgepole pine. Now we're gonna head over to our JCB, and once again we have the forestry model, and we have 2 saws to pick from here. The first one is just a simple cut it down saw. Let's go ahead and grab that, and we'll chop a tree down. So we're gonna enable the turbo saw. Once again, same company makes this as they made the other one. This one's a little more difficult because it doesn't slide along the ground, though we can still do the same idea. We can have it, just shoved right against the ground there and cut trees down, and it should fall away from your JCB. There it goes. Whoop. Easy as pie. Let's go ahead and clean that tree off, and we'll grab the next attachment. The next attachment's a little more interesting. Now, what I really wish they had is I wish they had a side saw that you could just drive to portions of the log and just go, bzz, bzz. That would be awesome. Yeah, you can use my iPad, Ryan. That's fine. All right. Let's go ahead and back up here and grab the next attachment. This is the last of the implement-mounted saws. And we're going to grab this. Now this guy's got an interesting feature. It opens and closes, so you can hug a tree. What we're going to do is we're going to run over and we're going to pick it. Let's see, nice tall tree. The unrealistic thing about it, and my friend Jared was pointing this out, and we were all laughing about it because he's right, is that, well, you can do some funny things with this, and here we'll show you how. So you're going to drop this to the ground. I'm going to get up to the tree and hug it. I need to get to the point where I'm actually hugging the tree. So this is the tree. This is the anti-tree hugger. It's a tree hugger that kills the tree. And we're going to. It seems like I have to have the saw on. It's gonna. Let's see here what happened. Oh, and I missed. Okay, so it does have to hug it before it goes down. So the tree went down. So we'll cut another one. But you can see that was a huge tree, and I need to find where I can. I suppose you just turn it off first, maybe? This is the first time I've operated this, so I'm sorry I'm a little bit noobish on this one. I've seen Jared do it, but I haven't done it myself. There we go. So this one clamped right in. We're going to turn this on. And, yep. Whoa! So you gotta watch the size that you cut, but it can grab the trees. Now, I think if we were on flat ground, we might have gotten away with that, but we have to let go. And but anyway, that's the idea of that one. I would not. Obviously, we need to pick shorter trees than what we're doing. That was too tall, so we need to flip this back over. I'll get it flipped over. I'll be right back. All right, so this time we're not going to go for the gusto. We're going to pick a smaller tree for our victim. We're going to turn the saw off, and we'll pick this smaller size tree here, hoping not to flip the thing over. That's not the goal is not to flip over, right? Ta-da! And we lift it a little bit and try to keep it balanced. But now you can see here with this medium-sized tree, we're able to move this around and take it somewhere else to be processed. However, it still doesn't chop up the logs like the Scorpion does, but it's an interesting device. I don't know that I would ever buy this because it's like, maybe though, because you know what? If it worked with the larger trees, completely unrealistically, like this is totally not. I don't think that's realistic. Do you? I don't know. Maybe, but I don't think so. All you actual life loggers out there, let me know what you think. I don't think it is. I'll turn the saw off. But anyway, that is another way to saw, and that is an interesting device. And it does pick the trees up, but like I said, I don't think it's going to pick up the really big trees. Like you saw that when I picked it up, it was like, whoops, and it flipped it right over. So anyway, those are our sawing devices that go on the front of tractors. Now we're going to take a look at the two biggies. All right, the first device we're going to look at here is the Sampo Rosenlu HR46. Warning, this is designed for small trees. It is not designed for larger trees. So the other thing that I don't like about it is it's kind of wonky how the arm works. It doesn't really give you much flexibility, but whatever. I'm trying to get it to where it's actually ready to cut. Now, you might want to turn your help menu on because you can... Oh, we need to change the cut length. We're going to go to 7 meters. Oh, this one only goes to 6. This one goes to 11. All right, so we're going to try and get that down. And cut. Okay, so it's ready to cut. So we're going to turn it... Oops, wrong button. Turn it on. There we go. And now we have the tree in our grappler. And we can take this and process the tree fairly quickly. The nice thing is, watch this. So then I'm going to press the cut button once again, which is X. And this processes the tree. We have two nice sections. They're exactly 6 meters in length. However, the downside with this guy is, let's take another big tree here, okay? And here's the problem. This tree is too thick for this machine, so you are stuck with smaller trees with this machine. And, I mean, for what it's worth, there's a lot of small trees on this map, but you're going to have to, if you're going to grow trees on your farm, and you want to plant a field full of trees, you got to get them before they get to be much taller than this. I think, like, even maybe this tree, let's try this one here. This one's still maybe like stage 3 or 4. Let's see. Nope. So the good thing is that you'll get the trees faster because every 2 or well, I think it's like 3 or 4 days for this height. You'll be cutting them down instead of every 10 days, but you're not going to get nearly the same amount of wood. So I can run that over here. We'll cut this one up. Once again, probably give us 2 segments. So while I like this device, I don't know that I would ever buy one because, like I said, unless I had a Scorpion King already and maybe just wanted a second one that I could cut small trees down with and then like have one person run the big one and one person run the small one. One person run the small one. I don't really see a huge benefit to using this device. It's expensive. It's a lot less expensive than the Scorpion King, but it's still expensive at I think $100 some odd thousand bucks. Yeah, 188. So you might as well save up the additional 140 and get the Scorpion King because it does so much more. So let's go ahead to the Scorpion King. We move to the last and the most amazing cutter. We have the Ponce. I must not be in position. There we go. The nice thing about the Ponce is it's pretty flexible with the boom. You have all kinds of different attitudes you can have with this thing. I'm not sure what... There we go. You can extend it. I mean, it just goes in all kinds of different directions. And then you can kind of, pile the trees together in a semi-organized fashion. Some guys just cut it right onto the trailer. I have not gotten good enough to do that yet, so I'm not going to do that. But you could do that. I mean, we need to change the cut length to 7. And we're going to go ahead and cut this. And this thing is a real monster when it comes to harvesting. I mean, it really... It's fast. You can see here. We just harvested. That's probably $2,000 or $3,000 worth of wood right there. So this thing is just a speed monster, and you can go down into the wood. The nice thing about it is you can go down into the woods and grab the tree and then drag it back out. I didn't buy mine with tracks, but you can get treads for it. Lift it up, and we're going to back this out. Tree falls, and oops, wrong way. Driving backwards, Arthur. All right, so I think you get the idea. But you can just harvest these trees and do it fairly quickly. I'll put it out there like this. And I actually went too far. I want to go back forward with it. Let's try to get them in a pile here. And then we're going to go ahead and cut. Nyeh. 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 And finally, another last but not least, nyeh. Okay. Well, actually, there's another one. Look. A little pencil log. Okay. So, that's that. And so, that's the demo of this guy. I'm going to move the arm back here. Shut this thing off. Boop. There we go. And so now we'll take a real quick look here before we head down. This is a nice pile, but we're going to clean that up a little bit in a minute. We're going to take a look at the stump grinders. There's 2 stump grinders that are available. We have the classic stump grinder, and I have not attached it to the tractor. And it operates with your joystick or whatever you have your arm controls set to. You can pivot in many different ways and turn it on. And let's find a stump here. I got to see one. There's one over there, set for stun. Let's take that bad boy out. It's a little harder to do, but not really, on the back of a tractor versus the front. If you have a truck with a 3-point mount on the front, or a tractor with a 3-point mount on the front, you can do it forwards. But this works. There we go, and the stump's gone. That's it. Pretty simple, huh? Let's turn it off. And of course, with the JCB, we also have a stump grinder, and I love the JCB one because you can get in there close, you know. Let's find another stump. I see one down here. Let's go ahead and grind away. And we're going to turn this thing on. And you can see here we could just pivot it down onto the stump. If I get angled right. And I'm just going to cut down, and that's it. Stump gone. In our next phase of the operation, we have a bunch of device setups that do the exact same thing. Okay. From the giant... Oops, sorry. I should probably turn my flashing beacons off so I don't blind everybody. That's this button. There we go. From the cheapest method, which is taking an already existing tractor, adding forks, and this log picker upper, along with your weight on the back. I would strongly recommend that you get a 1,000-kilogram weight to balance the wood. You don't have to, but it's a good idea. This is the cheapest way, and this will allow you to load larger logs. Let's say you're going to load your IT Runner logging trailer, or even this huge semi-trailer for logs. This tractor with that weight on the back will lift some pretty huge logs, like ridiculously big logs that are the same length as that big trailer. So this setup is really kind of a one-size-fits-all. You could actually have this tractor and one of these, let's see, where did it go? I have to find the dolly. There's only one dolly. You could have this dolly and that Fliegel trailer, this guy back here. And with that that setup with this and the Fliegel and your tractor, it's almost all you'd ever need. We'll pull that up there with the truck, and I'll show you what I mean. But you almost don't really need anything else except for a faster way to cut the lumber and maybe like a stump grinder. But all of these things basically do the same thing. Now, the only thing I want to warn you, I find that the JCB, although it's really cool, is pretty hard to steer unless you're using like a Steam controller or an Xbox controller. I have a steering wheel set up, and I hate driving this thing. I hate it. It's horrible. It's just I'm always like not able to turn it. It has a nice grappler for the log. As you can see here, it has this really cool grappler. It also has a second one. This one does not actually work as well, but it has these two grapplers. It has utensils that work well, utensils, but it doesn't. It's a little bit difficult to use. The nice thing about it, though, is it can turn on a dime. So when you're working in tight spots, this can be pretty useful. Whereas the tractor setup, it takes a little bit of space to turn the tractor around. So maybe this is not as good as this. The other thing that you could use is under front loaders, they actually have a front loader, which is new to the game here. We have a Kramer. And this actually I found works really well for lumber, for loading that big trailer. We were doing this on my multiplayer map with two of these, and this can get into real tight spaces, and because it articulates, it's actually pretty easy to, well, it doesn't articulate, but the wheels, it's got four-wheel steering, and so it does a real nice job of pivoting around really quickly in tight spots. So I recommend this Kramer over the JCB, but the JCB is there if you want to use it. The other downside with the JCB is you're not going to be able to load this trailer. You're going to have a difficult time loading this because it's so tall. So you're not going to be able to get over the tines or whatever you call these, the posts. So that JCB would work well in conjunction with this mod trailer. The downside is, of course, the JCB trailer, the IT Runner trailer costs a pretty large amount of money. This is, you're looking at about $60,000 right here for these two. Whereas that trailer back there, even though it's huge, is only like, maybe $20,000 with the dolly. So this is, literally 3 times less expensive. So let's go ahead and take the tractor up. I'm going to get it up there, and then we'll show you. One more thing I wanted to cover before we move up there, though. If you're going to use this giant front loader, the nice thing about this unit is that you can pick up 4 or 5 logs at once. The downside is you have to organize them. So you have to put them in neat piles, and then you can come over with this, scoop up like 4 or 5 logs, and then put it onto either of these trailers with it's fairly easy to use this. But the downside is they have not fixed the physics, and I'll show you this. We'll do a sample of it. The logs tend to wiggle themselves out, and you'll see that when I do it. You'll see them wiggling out of the grappler. So you have to move pretty quick once you get the logs in there. But we'll do a demo of this. This thing works terrible. The telehandler one is the worst of the group. It drops logs all the time. I hate it. I think this one works the best out of all of them for small operations, and this works the best for the larger operations, though you should use the front loader. This guy. I should have bought one of these, but oh well. The Kramer. All right, so I'll be right back. All right, I'm pulling the truck up here with the IT Runner. One of the things that I would recommend is that you find a nice flat surface to park on, because the logs are going to have a tendency to want to roll out of the back. Sorry, wrong button. And the other thing, too, is that you want to use your straps, and I'll show you how to do that when we go to do this. But after you put a couple logs in, you're going to want to start strapping, between logs. So we'll turn this off. One of the benefits of this is because you have this down off the back, it's much lower to get over, like I said before, to get over these spikes or your restraints, because what's going to happen is if you use that other big trailer, you have to really raise the logs up pretty high to get them onto this trailer. We'll mess with that in a little bit, but once again, that one's a nice big trailer. With that big trailer, you wouldn't even have to cut this log up. You'd just throw it on there. So for speed processing, you might want to use that big Fliegel trailer that I have down there, and I'll bring that up too. But so one of the things that we do, I usually will, when I'm going to cut these logs up, and I need to move this tipper so it's not in my way because it's going to get really irritating. Let me pull this out of here. Hang on. When I'm loading the IT Runner, I found that what kind of works for me, and this might be different for everybody, is I usually try to keep it about the length of the tractor from, and you get the bigger trees, you'll have to do this quite a bit. from the length of the weight to the, I'm sorry, from the back wheel to the front of the arms when they're down on the ground. So, like about there, and we'll cut it. It's a rough estimate, but it's, you know, they do have a measuring mod that you can use if you want to get that. That's cool, but this is how I do it. You know, and usually when I have a helper, I'll have them pull the tractor up to the next cut, and then that way we get logs that are fairly evenly lengthed, and they're a good fit for that IT runner trailer. So let me open this up. Now, to pick the logs up, there's a little trick, and this works for all of the telehandlers and front loaders. And first of all, you want to get in the middle, which I did not do. And here, as you can see, this is where the turn radius makes a difference. This tractor has kind of a wide turn radius, and I have to keep like backing and forwarding to get where I want. Whereas a tight turning vehicle like the JCB, or even the Kramer front loader, will help you do it. Now you can see there, to get the log picked up, and this is something that the first time I ever did a tutorial for Farm Sim back in 15, I couldn't figure this out. Now I've got it down, but you want to put the forks down towards the log. You don't want to try to pick it up like, you don't want to scoop it up like this, like try to push that under the log. You might do that in real life, but in this game you don't. I'm going to loosen a little bit because it didn't get it all the way in. So hang on, there we go. It's real laggy for some reason. Okay, so we have the log in tow. The thing that I like about the front loader grabber that we're using right now is that it's really tight. You really have to hit this thing hard to knock it out. So it allows you to make some mistakes. Whereas like the JCB one gets pretty tight too, but like the telehandler one, if you bump anything, the logs just flop out. So you can see here, this is nice and tight in here. It is moving around a little bit, but it's got a pretty firm grip on it. Now, you can see there, because I use the tractor measurement, this is actually pretty much the right size for this. I'm going to drop that. There we go. Now, oops. You can see there already, the spikes can be a problem. I'm going to try to push this trailer back straight. And once again here, you can see in this area where I have this tree behind me, it's tight. It would be nicer to have a little Kramer to move that around. So don't forget that the Kramer actually works better if you have the money for it. But we're looking at, on a budget, you know, the tractor, and here we're looking about $70,000. If you go down to that bigger Flegel trailer, it's even less money. So now the other thing I do is after I get a couple logs on here, I'll strap one down, and then I add more on, and then I remove the straps and re-add the straps. You really only need one strap. It's plenty unless you have logs that are shorter and they're all over the place. But the process for this is exactly the same when you're doing the large Flegel trailer. So we'll just use this for now. Oh, I'll come downstairs.
You sure?
Yeah, I'll be right down. Thanks, Chef. I'll be right down. So we'll put this log on, and then we'll bring the Flegel trailer up here, and we'll mess around with, or the Flegel, the big logging trailer, and we'll mess around with that. But you can see here, this is a pain where I put it. Didn't work out so well because the tractor has this big turn radius. So maybe we'll grab a Kramer and we can try that too. But once again, we're looking at trying to do this the cheapest way possible. And this IT runner would not be that way. It would be the Flegel. So let's go ahead and grab that. All right, so there. So you've seen it. That's loading the IT runner with the tractor front loader. And, you know, we still have these weird bugs. You see how the log was sticking to my forks? I don't know that they'll ever be able to fix that unless they just, like, completely reprogram the game. So, and that ain't happening anytime soon. Let me hop out. So we have 2 logs on there. Huge load worth about $5. Actually, that's probably $1,000 right there. So let us continue. Whoops, wrong button. I'm going to drop the stump grinder there, and we're going to pick up one more utensil. I want to show you the log loading with this thing. It's a little bit of a pain. What's up, Seth?
Going meep.
Meep.
It's like
Meep.
I cut it.
All right, so I'm going to pop this on. Keep it on low, please. So same thing as with the front loaders. You're going to, whoa. Once again, I don't use this thing with the steering wheel. I use it with the joystick. It works fine. With my Steam controller, I have no problems operating this. But with the steering wheel, it's a little bit touchy. And we can pick it up. And we're going to do this. I'm going to loosen up a little bit and then tighten back up again. What's up, Peary?
Can I borrow your phone for a second? I need a picture.
You can do it, yes. But here you can see the issue. I'm not going to get enough height to get this log into this trailer. So it's going to have to be sectioned into 7-foot sections and put on the other trailer. It just, if we, let's see. The problem is I'm going to get stuck on, doing. It's not working. Let me see if I can get it around the other way. That's all the way up. I mean, it might go over. This is not going to work. The way that I have it set up right now, I'm not. It's too crowded in here for me to do this. But if I buzz part of the tree off, maybe I can't. I mean, let's just take it. Hold on. Nope, I got to lower it more. So I'm going to cut this shorter.
Look at Mark did to his hair. Look at Mark did to his hair.
Is that right? Is that right now?
Yeah. Wow.
Looks like a peacock. My son Mark is screwing around with his hair. All right, so we're going to put this in here. Are you all clean and ready for tomorrow, mate?
I put a little
Hair product?
shaving cream on him, and I took a little penny and did it on him. And then he's got cologne on.
He's got cologne on. He's ready for his hot date. Mater's only 4. Yeah, this is just, I mean, it's doing it, but realistically, you would not hang it like that. I mean, that's just not. So this is really designed to put the logs onto a shorter trailer, which they make. Obviously, mods have them. Or, if you want, you can use the, that's going to be way too long. Oh, come on. Okay. Sorry. I know. Lame. Okay, so these logs, these logs onto this trailer. A little easier to manage because they're shorter. Come on, Arthur. Oh. Thing was rolling backwards. I didn't even have my foot on the pedal. Okay, and so we're going to do this, and I always kind of it's stuck. Stickiness. Okay, whatever. But you can see here, this should have no issues getting over the top of that.
Can I stay up?
I think it's bedtime for everybody.
Even Jackson?
Yeah, Jackson probably should go to bed too. He's a little guy, and you guys have been crabby today a little bit, and so I think it's time to go to bed. All right, so we're going to drop this here. Boop. And there we go. Now, you might want to, as you go, so it's just tall enough, but it works. As you go, you're going to want to push, every once in a while, come back here and give it a little shove and push this on. Now, in Farm Sim 15, you couldn't really, you do this, but what would happen is as you drove, the logs would start to slide off again. But because we have the locking strap system, this has really made the game a lot better with keeping the logs on the trailer. So next we're going to take a look at organizing wood for the big pickup. I'll be right back. All right, so let's move over here, and we're going to neat this wood up for a big grab here. So once again, we have our 7-foot sections from the Scorpion. And you can put these on either trailer. If you want to put them on the IT Runner trailer or the black Flegel trailer, you can do that. But I'm going to show you the big grabber and why I like the front loader. Once you have Scorpioned all these trees down, you can get lots and lots of pieces picked up real quick. So we're going to get this in the pile. And then a lot of times what I'd like to do is I'd like to leave the JCB opposite or whatever tractor. If I'm using a front loader to do this, you can use a front loader to do the same thing. The JCB is nice though because this unit, this tool that we're using is pretty wide, so the logs won't kind of flex around it. So we're just going to poke that down like that and keep the logs from rolling out.
Jackson stay up?
For a little bit longer, John. You guys can all stay up for half an hour more and it's bedtime. All right?
Yeah.
I'm recording.
I do.
Take a hike. So your friends are over. Go play with them. All right, so we're going to grab this. I'll be right back. All right, so we have the big monster JCB up here now with the monster grab. Actually, I think I'm going to reverse this. I'm going to, because of the operating space, we're going to put this guy over on the side and flip our little skid steer on the other side here. Our 325 TEC. No extra charge. I think it's ECO actually, isn't it? Eco? Yeah, Eco Monster. All right, and then Ryan, can you turn that down because I'm definitely picking that up on my mic. Maybe wear a headset or something. All right. So we're gonna. This one works a little differently. It actually, this one, it's better if you can push up like this and get underneath it. It will work grabbing it from the bottom or from the top, and then once you get it over, like kind of scoop it in. And then I went too high. Hang on. I want the front of this unit to come back down. There we go. And then we're gonna close this up. You can see here we got a nice bundle of wood, but you can see too the problem. They're shifting, and you gotta turn real slow, and they may not make it all the way to the trailer. Don't get mad if they come out. It's part of the beast. This one actually might work better with this kind of load, using that longer trailer because these are gonna go off the end. So we'll do it here because we're already over here. But yeah, so then you put your bundle over the top, lower it down in. Open up the arms, and it's all going to stick and probably not come out. So you got to, like, thump it. There we go. Sorry, folks. I'm having family issues. Child issues. My kids always want to come in here because all the computers are in here. And I'm like, listen, can I just do a tutorial? Like, can you guys go out? Okay, so now that those are on, I really would strongly recommend, closing this up. And if you can, let's see if this will work. Shoving the logs onto the trailer with this front loader, or the skid steer would work too, but just get everything up on there nice and tight, and then you're going to hop out, and we're going to lock these on. Come on, let's see here. I'm trying to get it so I can. There we go. And those are locked on, nice and easy. So that's how you can do. That's one of the benefits of having this huge device. And so, I would say the most efficient logging setup, as far as being able to do a lot of work quickly, is going to be your Scorpion King, along with a front loader and the this grappler, or the Force Master, the JCB skid steer. Why not the Buffalo King? Well, because with the Buffalo King, you can only pick up one log at a time. And with that Steppa trailer, you can only pick up one log at a time. So let's go ahead and take a look at both of those devices for picking up logs. I personally don't like them. I think that it's easier to use a front loader to do it. And look, like I said, look how fast we got that loaded. So if you have a pile 3 times that size, it'll take only a couple more scoops, and you'll have the whole trailer loaded up. So okay, so let's go ahead and grab the Steppa. Now, one of the cool things we actually have a forestry I forgot to talk about this. We have a forestry tractor in the game. We have this Steyr Multi, and you can get it with a forestry package. It costs $8,000, and I like to use the orange color because that's what they used to use. You can change the wheels to wide tires, narrow tires, standard. Let's do wide tires for fun. We'll buy that. And it's less than $100,000. Now, and you can also use it as a farm tractor. So it does have dual purpose, but if you want to do forestry and kind of make it, detailed, we have a forestry tractor, but like realistic. If you want to kind of keep it, prototypical. The benefit of this tractor is that it has the safety cage to keep the top of the tractor from getting smashed. If you drop, you will have logs, dump on your tractor from time to time. That's going to happen in real life. So, what's up, Mater? I really would prefer if you guys give me some quiet time, but I guess if you have to be in here, you too, Seth. I'd rather you play with your friends instead of sitting in here playing on the computer. Okay, then just play on the computer. It's fine, whatever. I don't care anymore. So, we're going to put the stabilizers down. It's going to take me a little while to figure out these controls, but I got to tell you, I hate this thing. I know people love it, but I hate it. Okay, so here's the trick. It's left control Z. I don't know why that makes sense to anyone, but it does for them, I guess. The control group controls the arm, or if I change this, I can control the supports. Really bizarre, but okay. So the supports are down, and I control the control group, and we're going to start doing this. I need to remember which one. No, that's not it. There we go. We're going to put this down. Maybe put it up a little bit. I got a little too close to the log, as we can see here. And we're going to put this down, put it out a little bit, down a little bit more. I'm trying to grab it in the center. The issue that we have with this is that it's a rotating, floating head. So if we don't grab the log in the center, it's going to get off balance, and then we're going to pick it up, and it's going to like hang to the left or right or wrong side or whatever. So we're going to lift this up, and we're going to shorten the arm and put this down in there. And oops, that's not on all the way. So I need to take it out a little bit and then put it down again. There we go. And then
Hey, Dad, we're gonna go for a walk.
okay. And then maybe suck it in a little bit. He was right here in the bed.
Susie. Brian. Yeah, coming? Brian.
Monkey, I'll take his place.
That's so pitiful, Seth. He said, I'll take his place. He wants to go for a walk with him. Okay, and then so, I mean, you can also do, there's other motions. You can extend the boom, I don't know why I would not do that, but I didn't do it before. And so you can see this is kind of like to me it's tedious. I don't know. I find it a lot faster just to use the front loader. But there's guys like my friend Jared. He can just whip this thing around, and he loads it as fast as I do with my front loader. So, but for me, it's like I have to go with each action. And I'm sure the more you do it, the swifter you'll get. But I'm just not very swift. Did I just admit something I didn't want to admit? Stuff like that, like it's sticking to the arm and it's making me mad, and I start to get frustrated. And you can change the camera view, which is nice. This actually has an in-cam, like an in-cockpit cam here, and that kind of helps a little bit so you can kind of see what you're doing a little bit. But sometimes the arm gets in the way. Just don't know what to say. And I'm going to fasten the belts. And so that's how this guy works. And once again, everybody has their own thing that they like or don't like, but this works. It's not really cheap. I honestly think that the Stepa trailer is actually more expensive than just buying the logging trailer with the. If we look at the cost of the dolly, let's see here, got $9,000. If I go into the forestry equipment and I look at my Flegel trailer at $17,000, so we're at $30,000. The Stepa trailer is $54,000. Okay, so we're almost $20,000 cheaper, even with the cost of $1,000 arms for the tractor and the head. If you include all the costs to get a tractor with a front loader and that trailer, it's still like almost $20,000 cheaper than buying the Stepa trailer. So I don't really see a huge reason to buy this unless you like it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It works well. It serves two purposes. You don't have to have a front loader. If you like operating this kind of machinery, then that's, then good for you. But seriously, this will work, But to me, it's tedious and it takes a long time. And I can work so much faster with a front loader. So, especially if I have the Kramer front loader, that just works a lot faster for me. I just whip it around and pick things up and off I go. So anyway, but that's the Stepa trailer, and akin to that is our Buffalo. And the Buffalo is the exact same thing, just on a much larger scale. So this is meant for picking up, 7 to 8 foot logs. I think this also has straps. Yep, same L button, does the same thing. Does this have supports? I don't think this has any supports, so you don't need to lower the supports on this, because there are none. But got our arms. And we'll just pick up one log so you guys can see it in operation. Now, in real life, I just operate it like this. You can do, I think it's Control B. Yeah, it turns the cockpit around, so now you reverse the directions of the unit. It doesn't change the way the arms work, but it changes the way that the unit works. So we're going to go over here. And those of you who see me play spin tires, those of you who have seen me play spin tires know that this aggravates me to no end. I hate doing these log pickups. It's a little bit easier on Farm Sim because you can change the angles of the camera easier. Trying to lift that up. Boing! There we go. And then we just swing this out around, bring it back over. And we're going to turn that this way. And oops, oops, oops. And snug this up. Perspective is everything, isn't it? All right, there we go. Slide it in, lift it up, slide it in, lift it up, and let go. Boop. L. And so we have our first log loaded into this, and you just keep filling it up till it's full. $230,000, I believe. Let's see, forestry equipment. 221, close. I wasn't perfect. I was 10,000 off. But it's, once again, if you like this style of loader as opposed to, you know, the Steppa trailer, then this is great. Personally, I think it's really expensive. And the other downside is now that you've got the logs on here, you have to transport them on here to the farm, to the forestry, the sawmill, and that takes a long time. So you're going to take these to the sawmill, and then you're going to be like waiting. It's personally, I think that this is just not. But everybody, the reason why these are in the game is because they're the showstoppers. People like to see this huge forestry equipment. They're like, oh my gosh, it's awesome. It's in the game. So there you go. It's in the game. But personally, I think that this is a pain, especially because the nearest forestry place is over the bridge. Actually, it's right there. See that the grid that's kind of by my arm up above it right there? I'm sliding back and forth across the grid. That's the forestry area here. Not so bad. But if you want to go take it to the train forestry area on this map, well, that's on the opposite corner of the map down there in the bottom left-hand side where it says lumberyard. That's where the train version of the lumberyard is. If you got to drive this all the way down there, it's going to take you like half an hour to get down and back. And that, I don't know. It's much easier for me just to grab a truck. I mean, doesn't it like make more sense to have a semi-truck? And the semi-truck goes, 60 kilometers an hour and gets it down there in no time at all. So I feel like using this with this and a semi-truck or a fast tractor, or just loading those logs onto here with the semi-truck, that to me makes more sense. It's less expensive by a lot. I mean, the truck and the trailer together are $140,000, right? Let's take a look. Or $180,000. I think this truck is, but you can get different trucks too. We have the Lizard at 124, so we at 140. This one is 165, so we're looking at 185. But you don't have to buy the man truck. So you have some options there that are much less expensive than that Buffalo. However, you still need a front loader, but you can load it faster because you're using the front loader. So, or you can just use a tractor with a loader. Any of those like that Case tractor that can reach high enough to load this trailer. All right, so I figured we might as well show you the Manitou while I'm here because we haven't done any of the. I hate this one. Oh, come on. Come on, snap it. There we go. Once again, yeah, it's like that's all the way tight, and so if I let it go and then tighten it up, now it'll grab it. But you can see it's not a real super tight hold. It kind of it slides around in there. You probably could grab 2 or 3 trees, and that might be a little more secure. But I found that even then, you still have the issue of the stuff sliding out as you're carrying it because it like gets wiggly. So it doesn't. I don't know. This thing is just kind of. Let go. Ugh. All right, so let's load a couple. I'm going to just put a couple logs on there for a primer. I'm going to try to shove these together. So let me have a... That was the shortest walk ever. My kids were going for a walk, and they just came back. They must have forgotten something. Why were they gone so short? Oh, that's so funny. Can you have them clean up? Oh, it's lightning and stuff out there now?
Yeah, I already did that.
It's supposed to snow tonight. It's been like 75 degrees today. Welcome to Cleveland in spring. It's like couple hours of beautiful weather. So you can pick up multiple logs with this. I guess that's kind of a benefit. Oh, these are nice and tight now too. So maybe it's a 2 log picker, and that might be why you'd want to use this. I don't know. I've never had good luck with these. I do like the small turning radius though. It does make it easier to maneuver. Oops, I got hooked. In the woods. In the woods. Do 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 do. Talk 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 talk. Caw caw caw. Caw 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 caw. Talk talk talk. Turning the straps off and gonna just back this down into the water till the wood disappears. Whoa! You should check your market, see who's paying more. But that was $100 piece of wood, and that's it, really. I mean, that's the simplicity of delivering wood. And you can back any trailer into the wood. If you have a pickup truck full of wood in the back, you can just back it in there. That's one thing I didn't really talk about. But if you have your regular stock pickup truck, you can just throw small pieces of wood into the pickup truck and back it in there. I've pulled into the zone, but the logs are not getting sold. So I just simply pull forward and lower the boom, and as it goes down, you'll see it just magically blings away. Let's see if they pay us here. Oh, do I need to unlatch it? Oh, the train is not back yet. And maybe I can't do it while the train's gone now. That would be kind of cool if they made it a little more realistic. Yeah, these logs are not selling, so we probably have to wait till the train arrives. So we'll hang out here. It should be back in a minute. So we're going to try this again. Let's go ahead and pull... Oh, sorry. I'm going to relatch these up. Trying to do it before the train arrives. So we can test this out again, because it didn't really work because the train's not here. Stop talking. Start lifting. Alright, so we will return once the train arrives. Alright, so we're going to back the trailer in. Let's see what happens. The train has arrived. And I don't think anything's going to sell. But, oh no, look at there it goes. So they must have raised the height. It's still not selling all of them, though, so you can see the problem. And this is going to happen on that tall trailer, too. Just some of the logs are going to sell. So the reason why it's nice to have this trailer is because we can then do what we attempted to do before. There we go. So yes, they do pay us some money here, and then when you run the train, it pays you more. So you want to pull the lever and make the train go. There goes the train. Your payment will come once the train goes off the map. So this works good. So let's go ahead and do some tree planting, and that'll be the end of our tutorial. So I have rigged our tractor with a tree planter. If you guys watched the Poplar video, you saw how this works, but we're going to do it again just for the sake of fun. So let's go ahead and we need to grab a seed pallet. We're going to go to our pallets, and we're going to go in here and grab the saplings, and it gives us 20 saplings. You might want to buy 2. If you're going to plant somewhere else, you probably want to get a bunch of these and put them on a trailer. So you have to keep coming back. But we have our saplings, and they're probably in the building. Yeah, I hate the way they do that. All right, now you gotta go. You're gonna go over here by the sapling. If you want to keep it realistic, you use a front loader to put the sapling pallet on. But really, all you gotta do is park next to it and press the load button, and it will load. And on this one, it's gone because I already loaded it. Sorry. I don't know what button it is. It's probably the R button. And you can pretty much plant saplings anywhere you want. Now, a lot of people put them on fields to make them nice and neat, but you can just turn the planter on and watch this. We're going to plant them. And I'm going to drop this. And we're going to pull forward. Oh, and by the way, I hope you guys are enjoying. I'm going to be upping the quality settings on my videos just a bit so that you guys can see a little bit better, starting with this video. And most of my tutorials have been done in the new format. But because of my new bandwidth non-restrictions, I can make the videos a little bit larger, which means that I can actually give you a better quality image. So you can see here, this is planting trees. I will walk close to them because they're hard to see in the grass. Like, they just kind of disappear. But it's just popping the trees out, so all you do is drive along in a straight line or a crooked line or however you want to do it. And this is planting those saplings. We have 15 left. Let's hop out and take a look. You can see the sapling right there growing, and there's a row of them where I was. The plants them a pretty good distance apart. But in 10 days or 15 days, we can actually see. I'm gonna roll the clock. Are you ready? Here we go. No, it's not working. I must not have loaded the mod. Poop. I'll be right back. All right, so here goes. We're going to start speeding up time. I did get my Control R mod loaded. So we're on day 1. Nighttime. Day 2. Nighttime. Day 3. Nighttime. Day 4, nighttime. And we're going to let it catch up for a minute. Sometimes they grow and they pop up. So we're moving to day 5. Day 5, morning. There we go. Nighttime, and day 6 is starting. There we go, day 6. Day 7 is starting. It's 8:35 in the morning on day 7. Let's give it a second to catch up. This is what it's actually doing outside my house right now. I got a big storm rolling in. It's going to snow tonight. It's been 78 degrees today. We're going to snow. What day were we on? I think this is day 8. So, shoot. So, day 9. These are not grown all the way. Now, our growing, let's see what our growth is at. We need to check that because that's going to make a difference too. I think we're on hard. Growth is at slow. Yeah, so on slow, we're at 9 days. Oh, they just popped up another level.
You're not sleeping in.
No, I don't want you to open that, please.
No, I needed
Day 10.
Lightning is striking.
Good, I know. You're right. That's what happens in a storm. Day 11. The lightning doesn't come in through the window. Okay, I believe these are fully grown. So it took about 10 or 11 days for these to grow. I'm sorry. Once again, I screwed up with the... but now we have full-size trees. These are big trees. They might grow bigger, though. So let's back up a little bit. But I think that's as big as they get. But they might grow one step larger. So we'll back up and see what happens. We'll let it go for a couple more days and see if we get any bigger. Day 12. Day 13. Day 14. Nope, they're not going to get any bigger. I can guarantee that. So I'm going to get out of here. There's a big storm coming in. It's going to be a crazy night. But you can see here that is, so not 10 days of growth and you have full-size trees grown in. Pretty cool stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or want other tutorials, please leave some suggestions down below. Don't forget, we Twitch live stream every Saturday morning with my crew, so be sure to check out the Twitch channel. It's VBLU Guitar, Victor Bravo Lima Uniform, and then the word guitar. And then we also have a Facebook page called Arthur's Gaming Channel. It's all 3 words. If you go to Facebook and look up Arthur's Gaming Channel, you'll find my group. Just apply and we'll let you in. We have about 440 members right now, and we'd love to have you as part of the community. I hope you guys once again found this tutorial insightful and helpful on how to use all the different equipment. And the next time we're going to be looking at wood chippers. Have a great night. Be sure to subscribe, and we will see you on the farm.